Welcome back to the part 3 video of IPsec. Okay, now packet 5 and 6. So in the packet 5, the initiator sends hash and ID payload. Okay, then the packet 6, the responder sends hash and ID payload. The IKE phase 1 is all about identify and authenticate each other. This is called security association. So in phase 1, they are using security association payload to identify and authenticate each other over UDP port 500. So the phase 1 is all about authentication. Here the packet 5 you can see encrypted. So the packet 5 and 6 are encrypted. We cannot see any data because they are encrypted, and we can see the initiator cookie and responder cookie and version. So encrypted. So that's why I'm telling this hash and ID payload. It's sending hash and ID payload. You can see this UDP port 500 source and destination. So this is another important thing. Now they are sharing hash and ID payload to each other. Now they should match. They should match. Okay. Otherwise, the authentication will be failed. Then they have to authenticate again. So the packet 5 and 6 should match. So they will ensure that they have the same key. So by using packet 5 and 6, they will confirm. And if the packets do not match, then authentication is failed. Then phase 2 quick mode. So phase 2 quick mode has 3 packets. All 3 packets are encrypted, so we cannot see anything in the Wireshark, and I'll show you. Here you can see encrypted. So here you can see quick mode, 3 packets and encrypted. So we cannot see this in the Wireshark because the data are encrypted. The data are encrypted, so we cannot see anything. But I will explain you what are the details in the packets. Okay, packet 1 and 2, the initiator and responder sent. So they share with each other, okay. Encryption. So encryption, we have DES, triple dash and AES. Then encapsulation, ESP or AH. I have already explained about ESP, the difference between ESP and AH. It's very simple. ESP provides integrity and encryption, and AH provides only integrity. Then hash, we have SHA and MD5. Then DH group. Then mode, we have 3 modes: transport mode, and tunnel mode traverse. Then SPI ID. SPI means security parameter index. So SPI ID, so they will share these details. And so they are sharing this information. Now the SPI ID, the initiator receives the SPI ID from the responder, and the responder receives the SPI ID from the initiator. So they will update the SPI ID to the SA database. So they will map the SPI ID with the IP address of the initiator for better, for security purpose. Okay, because in the ESP header we will have SPI ID. Okay, so the SPI ID used to uh, authenticate the initiator and as well as the sender, so the responder. Then key exchange payload, then it has some key, then nouns, then identification, some identification parameters will be there. So here is the difference between ESP transport mode packet and ESP tunnel mode packet. The difference between transport mode and tunnel mode is, in transport mode, the original IP header is not encrypted. In tunnel mode, the original IP header is encrypted. You can see here, the original IP header is not encrypted. Okay, and here the original IP is encrypted and a new IP header is added. Okay, this is the difference between transport mode and tunnel mode. Okay, other things are stays as other things stay same. Only in transport mode, the original IP header is unencrypted. So yeah, an intermediate person can change it. Okay, so it might lead to unsecurity. Okay, so here the original IP is encrypted, so it gives an extra security and authentication. Okay, so they cannot change and see the original IP header as well as the data. Here in transport mode, TCP, UDP, and data is encrypted. Here, along with TCP, UDP, data, the original IP header is also encrypted. These are the main differences between transport mode and tunnel mode. Next, there is another mode is called NAT traverse. Here you can see transport mode, the original IP address is not encrypted. Okay. For example, now we have a NAT in between. Okay, so in between somewhere we have a NAT configured router. So to allow the router to do NAT, we are adding an extra header called UDP header, which has the port number of 4500. So for transport mode, that UDP header is also not encrypted. Okay, and original IP header is also not encrypted. But other things, AESP header, TCP or UDP header, data, ESP. So TCP, UDP, and ESP trailer are encrypted, and ESP header and ESP trailer are authenticated. Now, for tunnel mode, so this is for transport mode. Transport mode to traverse NAT, and to tunnel mode. For tunnel mode, we have new IP header, UDP header, ESP header, IP header, then TCP header, some data, then ESP trailer and ESP auth. So here for tunnel mode to traverse a NAT router, we are adding an extra header, which is UDP header, port 4500. Okay, that's all the difference between NAT tunnel mode and tunnel mode traverse for NAT routers. Next. Here you can see the quick mode, the packets are encrypted. So all the three packets are encrypted using the encryption key calculated in phase 1. In IPsec session key calculation, this is an important part. You have to look into it. Okay, components, DH key, nouns, derived key, and SPI ID. These are the components needed to calculate IPsec session keys. So initiator out, responder in. So for initiator out means initiator is sending data to responder. So it has to use this key calculated using these components. For initiator out and responder in, they will have the same key. As you see here, initiator out means initiator encrypt the data using this key, and the responder decrypt the data using this key. So both are same keys. So initiator sends the data using this key, and the responder receives the data and decrypt the data using this key, which is the second key. Both are same key. So here, this is called symmetry key. So single key is used for encryption as well as decryption. So here you can see this. This derived key, new DHID secret, initiator nouns, responder nouns, and SPI ID of responder. Because he is the receiver. So here we are using responder SPI ID because he is the receiver. So it should be SPI ID of receiver because he is the responder. Responder in, so which means here responder is receiving data. Now it will decrypt the data using this key, which has the components derived key, new DHID secret, initiator nouns, responder nouns, and SPI ID of responder because he is the receiver. I am the receiver, so I will decide which key should be used. So initiator in, he will decide because he is the receiver. So he is the one who has to decide which key. So the responder out and initiator in will be same. So the responder sending data by using sends data. So sorry, encrypts the data using this key, and the initiator decrypts the data using this key. Basically, both keys are same, as you can see here. This key and this key same, and first two keys are same. This one, same key. And this key and this key same. So initiator out and responder in, same key, and responder out and initiator in, same key. Let me explain you with your diagram. Here our respond initiator, and this is our responder. Okay, and here is the link. Okay, okay. Now our responder is sending data. So it will use, sorry, our initiator is sending data. So it will use this key, this particular key. They encrypt the data with this key. So the data reaches the responder. Okay, the responder decrypts the data using this key. Okay, next the responder. Okay, the responder sends data use and encrypts the data using this key, and the initiator in means initiator receives the data and decrypts the data using this key. Okay, so the same key is used for encryption and decryption. Okay, this is the concept. This is called symmetric key. Okay, next, packet 3. The initiator sends hash payload. If the hash matches, the negotiation is success. Okay, so now the packet 3, in the packet 3, now the initiator sends some hash payload. If the hash matches, the negotiation is success, which is nothing but what it will do is it will encrypt some data using the initiator using this key, using this key, using this key. Now, if the responder is able to decrypt the data using the same key, which means the negotiation is success because they have the same key and now they are able to encrypt and decrypt the data. So which means success. So the packet tree will confirm that they have the same symmetric key. Next, ESP. After the connection established, the data packets are encrypted in ESP header, as you see here. As you see here, header. ESB header. It's encrypted in ESB header. So this is how the packet format will be. You can see here. IP header, ESP header, and original IP header. Then TCP or UDP header, data, ESP trailer, and ESP authentication. In the ESP header, there will be ESP SPI ID. I'll show you. Let me open the voice shock. Here you can see the ESP header. We have ESP SPI ID. Here is the SPI ID. and the sequence number. It's like TCP, how they use sequence number. Likewise, here ESP has some sequence method, okay, for error correction and reliable data delivery. So here you can see this information available in the ESP header. Then AH header, we have SPI ID, then AH sequence number. So these are the important fields. This is here is the AH header, authentication header. Okay. We can use a AH header and a ESP header together. So it will provide more security. Okay. Here you can see ESP SPI ID. Next. Okay, in the part 4, we will see that in the Wireshark. Okay, thanks for watching the video.